I now declare the 12th session of the Ministerial Conference of the World Trade Organization closed. I believe that ministers gathering here in Geneva have the power and the will to deliver on MC12 and guide WTO into the future. The groundwork has been done and it is now up to political leaders to bring the work to good outcomes.
I'd like to remind everyone that the WTO is a negotiating forum. But what I'm finding is that it's becoming a diktat forum. One set of people come and say, I want this. The other set says, I want that. There's no negotiation. You have to talk to each other. And that means there has to be compromise. No one side is going to get 100% of what they want. Trade is an instrument for creating more and better economic opportunities for women, thereby empowering them.
Okay, last one. Thank you very much.
Will the road to deliver at this MC12 be smooth? Absolutely not. We have a chance to show the world that the WTO can step up to the plate, that we can strike agreements in Geneva that will enhance the ability of all members to respond to people's aspirations at home. Aspirations for food, for health, for security, for better jobs, higher living standards and sustainable environment on land, in the oceans, and in our atmosphere.
As WTO members, we have a duty to develop international markets in sustainable and inclusive manner, especially for the most vulnerable amongst us, the ones that rely on the WTO to have their voices heard on trade-related issues.
Fisheries subsidies is a somewhat new area of work for the WTO, and this agreement will be quite comprehensive. There has been reassurance from potential donors during the negotiations that technical assistance would be made available.
We've already received informal pledges for the fund of about $5 million, which is half of the initial amount of $10 million that we are seeking.
Delegations have been informed that the 12th Ministerial Conference will be extended by 1 day until tomorrow, Thursday. Significant progress has been made. We're not far from agreements.
Good evening. Oh yeah, no. Good morning. Sorry. This is fantastic. Thanks, Maria.
May I now propose that the Ministerial Conference adopt the text. The Ministerial Conference so agrees.
Excellencies, you're not going home empty-handed. You stepped up and delivered in every area we've been working on. For much of this week, you have worked day and night. The package of agreements you have reached will make a difference to the lives of people around the world. The outcomes demonstrate that the WTO is in fact capable of responding to emergencies of our time. They show the world that WTO members can come together across geopolitical fault lines to address problems of the global commons. In response to the ongoing shocks from COVID-19, the declaration you just adopted will make access to medical supplies and components more predictable in this pandemic and in the next one. The TRIPS waiver compromise will contribute to ongoing efforts to deconcentrate and diversify vaccine manufacturing capacity so that a crisis in one region does not leave others cut off. In response to the worst food security crisis in decades, you have taken steps to make trade in food and agricultural inputs more predictable and hence prices less volatile. And you are going to make it easier for the World Food Programme to do its difficult job of feeding millions of the world's most vulnerable people. On fisheries subsidies, WTO members have for the first time concluded an agreement with environmental sustainability at its heart. You found a way to extend the e-commerce moratorium along with the work program, thus preserving the enabling environment the WTO provides to the global digital economy and the millions of businesses and jobs that depend on it. You have initiated a member-driven process of institutional reform. You recognize the role trade and the WTO can play in empowering women, achieving environmental goals, and expanding opportunities for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. I promise that we'll get back to work immediately. Get ready. Tomorrow is another day post-MC12.
我们没有文件。